this morning. And, you know, one of the things we don't do enough is say hello to the people online. And we have some beloved people that do watch our Sunday services online. And actually, some wonderful tithers that watch our service online. So they don't happen to live here necessarily, but I just want to say good morning to you, and we love you, and thank you for watching and for all that you do to support this center. And for everyone here this morning in person on this beautiful, beautiful November day. And it is also a very special day. So I'm going to just turn this over to Sue.
Oh, we have a little different thing in mind here this morning. Let me step in for a minute. Well, good morning and welcome. Julie did a wonderful job of welcoming everybody here. Let's just look at the announcements, and when we get finished with that, we have a very special presentation by Susan. She's going to give our Woodland Chapel recognition to the service of veterans. And so that'll be really great. Okay, please join us for anyone here for the first time. Oh, wonderful. Welcome. We do have some material for you to look at, pamphlets, and about the chapel and what's going on. If you would feel moved to do so, you could fill out a little card that lets us keep in touch with you. That'd be really, really sweet. Please join us for fellowship right after the service. It's a time for snacks and conversation. Excuse me. As you can tell, I'm overcoming a cold. It's time to get lit up. Living Intentionally today is a discussion group, and it meets on Wednesdays from 7 to 8:30. This next one will be, I think, where's that date? This week is what I was thinking. 29th, isn't it? Right, and afterwards, 2nd and 4th. Super of the Soul. Maybe I should let Julie do this. Please sign up for helping with that if you can. Save the date for Tuesday, December 23rd, and more about our candlelighting service later. That's the Tuesday before Christmas. Confidential prayer request forms are in the pew. And if you have a issue that you'd like to have our professional prayers work on, they would be happy to do that. And and if you like your request shared with the ministry team, just say so. If you're already volunteering, we thank you. If you want to volunteer, please just talk to Reverend Dawn, myself, Reverend Julie, a board member, or whoever. Okay. Now, as I mentioned, Veterans Day is coming up. I'll give you a little preamble. Yesterday, the Oregon Senators did a Holiday and Veterans Day program over at the Day Spring Fellowship Church in Kaiser. And we had 60-some youth in this chorus, and we sang 2 songs that related particularly to veterans. First was Star Spangled Banner, and the second was the Armed Forces Medley. And there were those who had little tears on that Armed Forces Medley. I know that this is an extremely important and heartfelt message from Susan Naslin, our board president.
Good morning, everyone. Most of you probably do know that Veterans Day is this Tuesday, November 11th, and it's celebrated on this day to honor the end of World War I. This is the day that we recognize and honor all who have served in the U.S. military and those that are currently serving. We recognize their patriotism, service, and sacrifice, with special emphasis on thanking living veterans. We are compelled to never forget that while we enjoy our daily pleasures, there are others who are still enduring personal sacrifice. And we have several veterans that I know of right now in our chapel. And one is Richard. Would you mind standing up? Okay. Thank you. Thank you. And a free meal Tuesday. Also, Eric, or Chuck. He has over 20 years of service. And I believe Reverend Don is also a veteran. I don't know if you all knew this.
National Guard.
Yeah, National Guard. Are there any other veterans here? Besides me, I'm also a veteran. I have 23 years. Thank you. Thank you. So this is a very special day for veterans and also family members and friends and the world. So if you have family and friends and neighbors who are veterans, thank them. Thank them for their service. So I want to share a true story today of bravery, sacrifice, and courage in the face of overwhelming odds. This is about the transport ship, the Dorchester, and the 4 chaplains. In the early morning hours of February 3rd, 1943, First Sergeant Michael Warish nearly gave up hope as he floated helplessly in the freezing waters of the North Atlantic. Just minutes earlier, he and the almost 900 others aboard the Dorchester were near safe waters when a German torpedo slammed into the engine room. Soon, the Dorchester began to slip under the waves. Resigned to losing consciousness and freezing to death shortly thereafter, his thoughts turned to the courageous and selfless acts of the 4 Army chaplains he witnessed just before abandoning ship. These 4 chaplains, according to Warish and other eyewitnesses, remained calm during the panic following the attack. And first distributing life preservers and assisting others to abandon ship. Then giving up their own life preservers and coming together in prayer as the ship disappeared beneath the surface. As the ship went down, survivors in nearby rafts could see the 4 chaplains, arms linked and braced against the slanting deck. Their voices could also be heard offering prayers. Of the 902 men aboard the Dorchester, 672 died, leaving 230 survivors. The story of these 4 chaplains, a Catholic, a Jew, and 2 Protestants, stands out among the countless stories of commitment and bravery that make up the U.S. Army as one of the finest examples of courage to God, man, and country. So as Veterans Day approaches, and any day for that matter, reach out to a veteran and thank them for their service to our country. Thank you.
Good. Oh,
Congregational song.
shall we sing?
Yeah, let's sing.
Let's do it.
Shall we stand up and sing? Okay. I think the words are in the program.
The words are in your bulletin.
All right.
Good morning, you all. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. Thank you for my friends, Spirit. Thank you for my friends. Thank you for my friends, Spirit. Thank you for my friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. My wonderful wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit, thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. Very nice. Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and true, and with thanksgiving I'll be a living sanctuary for you, and with thanksgiving I'll be a living sanctuary for you.
As we turn our hearts to that sacred space within, we feel the presence, the awareness, the goodness, the loving kindness, which is the nature of the divine itself. This divineness, this goodness lives in each of our hearts. As we turn our thoughts to those who have served our country, guarded our lives and our freedom, as we turn our thoughts to those who have benefited us in any way, through their service in various emergency services, we can turn our thoughts to our families and to our friends, realizing that all are connected, all are at one in the universal loving presence of the Spirit of God. We rejoice and are glad and give thanks for all the benefits that we enjoy, for life itself, for strength, for health, for the beingness of awareness and consciousness, and having decided to devote ourselves to the spiritual path. We give thanks for it all. And as we do so, let us say, and so it is. A reading? Yes. Catherine Kim, our board secretary, will do her reading.
But before we do the reading, we'll do the group affirmation. You can find it in blue in your program. My feelings of gratitude have the power to release a shower of blessings. They can open my mind, they can open my heart, and they will change my life. And so it is. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. You are made of rhythm too. The same rhythms that flow through nature flow through you. Anna Peterson. And as always, Ernest Holmes, in his books, founder of Science of Mind, he weighs in, and this is what he has to say. There is one life. I am one with its rhythm. My heart beats with the pulsation of the universe, in serenity, in peace, and in joy. Today's reading comes from the Science of Mind magazine and is entitled, Remember the Rhythm. The word rhythm is derived from the Greek word rhythmos, which means to flow. Underneath external noise, a rhythm pulses, a steady, ancient hum, like the earth breathing beneath our feet. It is not dramatic or loud. It is subtle and sacred. Like Native American elders who lived in the rhythm of nature's changing cycles, we are invited to adhere to the proverb of rhythm. Listen to the wind, it talks. Listen to the silence, it speaks. Listen to the heart, it knows. Everything around us is pulsing with an innate reminder of symmetry. You are not a stranger to the flow. You are already home. We do not lose the rhythm, we simply tune it out. As spiritual beings caught in changing cycles of human doing, we spend years gathering names, roles, goals, building structures of meaning, trying to be enough. And all the while, the innate pulse of life's givingness flowed beneath every achievement, every heartbreak, every attempt to get it right. The rhythm does not rush. It does not shame. It invites. It reminds us that we are not outside of peace-seeking entrance. We are within peace, watching everything move and shift like the clouds across the sky. No arrival, only unfolding. We breathe, and in doing so, the rhythm breathes us. The search dissolves, and in its place, something vast and familiar pulses its steady proverb. You never left the flow. You are never alone. Listen to your heart. It knows. And our bonus affirmation, which you can repeat after me if you would so like. I choose to listen to my heart. It knows.
I choose to listen to my heart. It knows.
Thank you.
Good morning again. I'm going to play a song by Dolly Parton. If you know it, sing along. When I look over a green field of clover, or watch the sunset at the end of the day, I get kind of moody as I see such beauty, and everything's beautiful in its own way. When I see a fountain flow from the mountain, or see April showers bring flowers to May, I can't help but ponder life is such a wonder, and everything is beautiful in its own way. Words can't describe what I feel inside when I see the beauty in each coming day. What my eyes behold can't be bought or sold, and everything is beautiful in its own way. When I see the clouds form a black summer rainstorm that uproots the harvest and hurls it away, in the midst source of such anger, destruction and danger. Oh, the storm's even beautiful in its own way. When I see the leaves drop off from the treetops, or see the snow fall on a cold winter's day, my thoughts seem to wander into the blue yonder. God made all things beautiful in His own way. He did. Words can't describe what I feel inside when I see the beauty in each coming day. What my eyes behold can't be bought or sold, and everything is beautiful in its own way, in its own way, in its own way. Thank you.
That sounded good, didn't it? Thank you, Ari. You know, we just love having Ari here. You know, Peter also comes once in a while. Yeah, we like him too. Yeah. Hello, everybody. Top of the morning. I think I know every one of you out here. I recognize your faces. Have a new person here just saw this morning. Thank you for being here, Leslie. Glad to have you here. You know, here we are right now in this month, November, that honors and emphasizes so many things. We started out with honoring today, didn't we? But you know, our gratitude and our thanksgiving kind of reminds us that how blessed we are. Isn't this a great country to live in? Dang. I don't care what anybody says. I'm glad I'm here and not somewhere else. In fact, I'm supposed to be here. That's why I'm here this morning. And you were called here by divine urge. I think that's true. Our title this morning, The True Law of Attraction, or the Real Law of Attraction, hyphen, gratitude, exclamation point. And maybe also titled The Real Law. It reminds me of a quick little true story. This story tells of a man who was late to his business meeting, and he finally got a parking place, right close by there. Jumps out of his car and he realized, now this is back when there were parking meters. Oh, no change, what he's going to do? So he decides, well, I was going to write a note, put it on his windshield, because, you know, the parking guy's going to be along for sure. He does that. So the note read, I'm late to my meeting. I have no money. If I get one more parking ticket, I may be out of business, and thank you for understanding. Well, he came back later. Of course, he found a parking ticket. And a note with a parking ticket that read, if I stop giving tickets to people who are overdue on their parking meters, I'll be out of a job. Thank you for understanding. Fits right in. It reminds me, though, of the laws of the many kinds that we humans have, natural laws and spiritual laws. We kind of live in a world of laws, but all, you know, are designed for a purpose. We're all designed to keep life moving along in right order. Yeah, really. Even those pesky stoplights, you know, the red, yellow, green keeps coming on. And yellow, you got to catch that before and stop. You know, we can't go through the yellow light anymore. Got a neighbor, went through the yellow light, camera, caught him, got his ticket. Yeah. So, laws are something we talk about a lot of times, but I don't want to talk about laws. I want to talk about something else. This title of our message, this one that's talking about gratitude and the law of attraction and all that, it's influenced by our human thoughts and our feelings and our emotions that always really impact the quality of our human experiences. You know, keeping the law of traffic, for example, keeping us safe and in order and whatnot. So this, you know, I get started on something and I think, you know what, I wanted to bring this up. And then all of a sudden I think, yeah, this would be good. And then something tells me, now hold on, you're going to shift gears. So I'm going to go back to the attitude part. So before we get to attitude, let us just talk about this law of attraction. This law of attraction is really familiar to us, is it not? It's so familiar to all New Thought studies. You know, it's nothing new. Some of us like to think that it's a magical tool for bringing good things into our life. I think in some ways it is. But usually when we teach about this particular law in our Science of Mind, we can go to the Science of Mind textbook, and there's a whole chapter Dr. Ernest Holmes wrote on the law of attraction. He tells us that it's finally coming to a point here in this world that everybody, the whole world, is gradually beginning to understand that we're thinking beings. We're coming to realize we are thinking beings, and we can't stop thinking. We can try to push something out of our minds, you know, as we do, but almost instantly something else will pop in there, won't it? Just bingo. Oh, another one. All right. Now, one of the facts, though, one of the truths of life is that nothing stays empty. Nothing stays empty and long in this life or the universe. One of the truths of life says that. In fact, isn't there a saying that the universe abhors a vacuum? We also teach, you know, that there is one universal intelligent energy moving all the time, and it's okay if we want to simplify it and you want to call it God or Allah or whatever faith practice you are in, but it has a single one powerful nature about it. And that nature is to create. To create. We are part of that. We are creators. And it's as if like the universe that seems to fill all the space with exploding stars and expanding galaxies, and it's all in a form, all in a something about creating anyhow. It has been said that it appears that the universe is operating kind of more like a great mind instead of like a great machine. You may have read that somewhere. I don't know, remember who said that. Somebody said it was Einstein, but it was not Einstein. It was somebody else. But in this Science of Mind, this is what we're going to talk about. We teach about also creative mind. And creative mind is a constructive use of mental law. There's that word law again. And in using this mental law, we discover creative power, a type of power. It follows the law of attraction. And it's a mental law that operates universally, and it works throughout the universe. Now, that sounds like dry stuff, but it's something, it's all the time working. It's all the time working, all the time. And in our small little dimension of understanding, we're beginning to see this now, that in our corner of the universe, this right there, right where we're at right now, right where you sit, the law of attraction is receiving our thoughts. And it cannot stop creating. It pulls in whatever aligns with our thinking. We're constantly calling this law of creation into action all the time, whether you know it or I know it or not. It's got to always be creating something, because it's following what is known to us as we study it as our dominant thoughts. You know, we think we're scatterbrained sometimes, but within us there is a dominant thought that's set up a dominant feeling that's holding us to a dominant emotion, even though it seems like it's several things going on. They can be basically, we think happy or sad, or we think good or bad, or we think negative or positive. It's just the way it works. And the law doesn't discriminate. There's no discrimination, no favors, and no punishments or fines for any of our use of this law. Only consequences. Only consequences. And this may not be breaking news to you and I who really have studied this, but you know, to someone who has a fresh beginner's mind, it is a new experiential ground that they can cover if they start looking into it. We who present those to those who offer what I like the Buddhists call beginner's minds, we're open and wanting to learn something. What we do is we encourage them to not take anything that's first presented, first given. We encourage them until they prove it in the everyday laboratory of their own life. Well, you have to prove that to yourself, and then you can either believe it or decide not to, use it or decide not to. Usually when we find out the truth, we want to use it. And so when we speak to the law of attraction, you're going to hear us say that every person is surrounded by a thought atmosphere, an atmosphere of thought. Can't get away from it. And an inexhaustible energy is constantly flowing along lines of all these creative influences that is connected to thought. And those influences are ignited and set in motion and impacted by the quality of our thoughts. That's what it boils down to. Quality of our thoughts. You know, you're going to understand this when I tell you, garbage in, garbage out. Yeah. Same thing. The law has no preferences. It just follows the dominant order of our thoughts to become physical realities. And there is always a powerful flow of creative, intelligent energy. And it always becomes qualified. And it's qualified energy that's qualified by the types of thinking that we allow ourselves to participate in. Or step right in and do it on purpose. A simplification action, by some, will just call it God thought. God thought. I had a minister who always called it God thought. So as God thought makes worlds and peoples them with living life and living things, so it is that our thoughts is going to make our world, and then it peoples it with our experiences from our dominant thinking, the dominant thoughts, negative or positive. This isn't new stuff, but it's great to go over this stuff and over it until all of a sudden we live it, rather than use our intellect to say, oh yeah, we'll put that on a shelf and use it later. That's why, you know, we've learned to use mantras. You know what a mantra is, you know what an affirmation is. All of that is done to keep order in our life in the way of our thoughts, so that we can set the law of attraction in action for good, for us, and for our world. Aren't we really wanting that all the time? Are we so selfish that we don't want good for everybody? No, we're not at all. So, we'll do an affirmation idea a little later. I love it the way Reverend Moore does an affirmation and has us to speak to him after he does his message of the morning. Just, we speak the affirmation back. We speak the affirmation back. And you know, this is the way the law of attraction guarantees that experiences are going to come about. It's the way it works. This is the empowerment of it. And it's just, every time I think about these things, I think, you know, things are so simple and yet they become so complex when we start digging into it, that it becomes complicated after we don't quite understand it, but why didn't it work this time, and why will it work another time? Should I? Anyhow. What it turns out is that our thoughts and our beliefs and our perspectives, either we create out of the law of attraction to heal or hurt, to learn and love, or we resist and we suffer from our holding on to those negative thoughts and feelings that become feelings. Thoughts become feelings. I heard someone say, thoughts aren't the cause of anything. Thoughts are the thing. They become reality. So what we allow to fill the space of our minds, that's our human panacea, really. We think about this for a moment. Judging from first appearances. Yeah, we want to see it to believe it, don't we? And we want to believe what we want to believe. We don't want to believe sometimes what we see. It's a cycle, isn't it? But we have this thing that's beyond judgment. Judgment is quick to jump to conclusions, you know that. But there's things that we call discernment, don't we? Discernment is something that's observant. It's patient. When you discern something, you question something at times. You allow and you move without condemnation or criticism, which is judgment. So unlike most other laws that we humans live with, the law of attraction ain't got those fines. Doesn't have fines, doesn't have punishment per se, but other than self-inflicted out of our own making. Ernest Holmes states it in his chapter in the Law of Attraction in his textbook, and here's what he says. He says that everyone attracts to themselves. Everyone attracts to themselves just what they are. And wherever we are, he adds to that, however intolerable the situation may be, at that moment, we are just where we belong. Oh my gosh, you got to think about that. Now, this is usually hard to accept, let alone to understand, but there's a way of understanding it. And the only way truly out of anything that we want to be out of, it's in our hands always. Actually, it's in our heads, and then in our hands. Isn't it amazing? Just really think about this for a moment with me. I do this every once in a while just to bring me back to center. Just think now. You just look around anywhere you are at the moment. Just look around here even. Anywhere you are at the moment, if you just look around, you can see that everything, absolutely everything in our sphere of existence began with a thought. You coming here today had to begin with a thought. All we need to do is just look around. Now, most of us at one time or another, we've either heard the statement, and you may have even said it, it is what it is. Yeah, okay, it is what it is. It may be so, okay. But I'd like to add this to it. What we do with what is what it will become. Amen. So where does the gratitude come into the law of attraction? Gratitude doesn't claim to be any kind of law or principle of life. We have lots of principles and we have lots of laws. But it can influence what the law of attraction manifests for us in our life. Gratitude is an empowering state of being. Yeah, it can only attract beneficial and good in our activities if we are a part of the process. I always love the lines of that old Jimmy Buffett song. Changes in attitude, changes in altitude. Yeah. Changes in latitude, changes in attitude, changes in attitude. Well, anyhow, I like that song. Okay. Gratitude is a supreme, impacting attitude. So, looking at gratitude, really quick, we find that it's an internal feeling of deep appreciation. It's an internal feeling for benefits that maybe we received. There's a slight difference from giving thanks and an attitude. See, thanks can also seem from receiving something. Thankfulness seems to be a part of an active expression. We pronounce thank you. We say thank you. We let someone know thank you, requiring it's a tangible action. Whereas gratitude, really, it can set a deeper, kind of an inward state of mind and state of feeling. A sense of gratitude can be mostly private. I have private gratitudes. We can feel gratitude without telling anyone. And yet, if we wish or feel to be moved, we can express our gratitude in the action of outwardly giving thanks. We can feel gratitude without thanksgiving, but we cannot be or express thankfulness without feeling gratitude. So gratitude, there are many fruits of gratefulness that grow within this law of attraction. In fact, epiphanies can come over us with gratitude. Now, I want to tell you this real quick little story about a man whose life was on the edge of disaster. Now, this is a true story. He was miserable, he was in debt, physically a wreck, mentally a wreck, on his second divorce, whatever that's got to do with it, living in a crummy, run-down apartment, 2 months behind in his rent, and no air conditioning in the month of August in Los Angeles. Think about that, 110 degrees. He was an attorney, and he just couldn't afford to pay his employees their back wages because his clients weren't paying their bills on time, and sometimes not at all. He really had thoughts about his life not going on. Why not end it all? So how'd this guy survive? Why? Why not be gone? Well, on a rare impulse, he was watching a TV program and saw that Los Angeles had lots of walking trails and hiking places in the mountain areas, and he thought, I'll just get the hell out of town. So he went to the hiking trail that he wanted to go to. He felt like he was doing something useful. His thoughts were usually, full of questions that made him wonder in his world, what did he have to be thankful for? That was how he was thinking all the time. But as he was huffing and puffing and panting around a steep hillside on a part of the path that was cut right into the terrain, very high up, he suddenly began to feel the ground shake. Oh God, he spoke out loud. An earthquake! And the ground rippled, and rocks and dirt broke away, and from the ground, run down right towards him, on him. He was beside himself. Of course, he was afraid of dying. So he screamed out, "Please, God!" And one boulder about the size of a Volkswagen was rolling right at him. And within feet from him, it bounced right over his head, bounced down. And after shaking, stopped, and it did stop. He found himself standing unscathed, the settling dust and debris, not even a scratch. He just coughing his head off because of the dust. And so he fell to a sitting position, sobbing with gratitude as it dawned on him what a miracle it was. He was not killed. He wondered why he ever thought he wanted to leave this world, ever. And later it was revealed that it wasn't an earthquake. It was just an unstable part of the landscape that gave away. But he felt he was going to have an epiphany. He knew what epiphany meant. Something was ignited in his feelings when he was back home, sitting, resting. He had this deep sense of gratitude, and he just made a decision. He decided on a goal that he would write one thank you note each morning. And his first thank you note for a full year, his first thank you note was, "Woke up, thank God I'm still alive." He wrote it down. He did this, and he was pleased to find that right under his nose there were just many things that he'd never thought of before. Just one thing every day. I feel thankful for this. The bottom line here, his life changed about the third month in. And as his thinking changed, his thinking did change, his circumstances changed. His clients became paying clients. His largest client that was avoiding him all the time paid him in ahead of time on things. His life became filled with all kinds of good happenings. His thinking became dedicated to expectations. When he got up in the morning, he was expecting good stuff, not the crappy stuff. He claims, in his words, that gratitude in his notes actually became sweet mantras, sweet affirmations. And as a lawyer, he understood about the law, value of laws. And he felt the law of attraction, when he heard about that, was really working its way to bless him. And he promised himself to work and find the best way forward for all of his clients. And he wrote them notes, every one of them, personal handwritten notes, telling them just that. Gratitude had seemed to open the windows and the doors for the breezes of fresh goodness to just sweep through his life. And he believed that gratitude was this, not just a gentle power. Gratitude was a power. He could feel it every time he wrote a letter. He could feel power working through his hands. So, in closing, I want to draw our attention to part of what we heard in our reading this morning earlier. Reverend Catherine read this, a part of it. It said this, that everything around us is pulsing with an innate reminder of symmetry. That's order, you guys. Symmetry is order. I call it alignment, really. And we're not a stranger to this flow. It says we're already home. We're there. We don't lose that rhythm. We don't lose it. We simply just tune it out. We're tuned into something else. What we're tuned into as spiritual beings, we're caught in changing cycles of human doings, is what it all comes down to. We can spend years gathering and names and building roles and goals, trying to find these structures of meaning. And all the while, the innate pulse of life's giving us, the thankfulness that is right there under us, in us, ready to express, just was flowing beneath every achievement and every heartbreak. It was always there. Every attempt to get it right. And then, all of this works out where something can happen, where things do begin to change. Just as soon as we decide that we do feel grateful. Change is embraced as an opportunity when we see that granny of, I call it constant grace, that the law of living, moving in our life when we give thanks. I know many of us here have journaled. I'm sure. I journaled for probably 4 or 5 years, but I slipped away from it. I drifted away, but I'm so grateful that I still evolved into something that helps me, and that is affirmations. I speak my word every day. I speak my word right into the whatever it is that's there. I call it the light of God that's surrounding me. And that light of God, I want to tell you what I think that is. I think the light of God is the infinite flow of divine energy that's rich with God purpose. That's the light of God when we say the light of God surrounds us. And like I said earlier, when I hear Reverend Moore do the let's repeat after me, and Catherine asked us to do that today, I've got an affirmation I'd like you to just repeat after me to finish up our message this morning. Will you do it with me? All right, here's what I'd like us to say. The light of God surrounds me. It shines forth to light my way, giving me clarity and guidance. It gives me directions for right decisions. It heals and empowers me, giving me wellness and purpose for my life. And so it is. and thank you for being here. Okay. Okay. I need a drink. Okay. We're gonna have some more sweet music.
Well, seeing as it's the month of Thanksgiving, I'm going to play a song called The Thanksgiving Prayer. And it was written for a show called Dr. Quinn Medicine Women. I don't know if any of you have seen this show. Johnny Cash appeared on an episode and sang this song, and my husband Peter showed me this song. It's become a really special song, and we'll see if we can get through without crying. Who's with me? We've come to the time of the season when family and friends gather near to offer a prayer of thanksgiving for blessings we've known through the year, to join hands and thank the Creator. Now that Thanksgiving is due, and this year when I count my blessings, I'm thanking the Lord He made you. Yeah, this year when I count my blessings, I'm thanking the Lord He made you. I'm grateful for the laughter of children, the sun and the wind and the rain, the color of blue in your sweet eyes, the sight of a highballing train, the moon rise over the prairie, an old love that you've now made new. This year when I count my blessings, I'm thanking the Lord He made you. Please sing with me if you're called. This year when I count my blessings, I'm thanking the Lord He made you. And when the time comes to be going, it won't be in sorrow and tear. I'll kiss you goodbye and I'll go on my way, grateful for all of the years. I'm thankful for all that you gave me, for teaching me what love can do. Now Thanksgiving Day, for the rest of my life, I'm thanking the Lord He made I'm thanking the Lord, He made you.
Wow. Thank you. Does she not have a voice of an angel? Yeah. Wow. And Dawn really needed that message today. Thank you so much. What we forgot to announce, and I usually do, there's a card in front of you that if you would like to be on the mailing list, be on the constant contact email list, just keep up with what's going on, fill that out and drop it in the offertory basket. And there's also this purple one, prayer requests. And please take advantage of that. And also it's good for those of us who pray on these because it lifts our consciousness. But you can put that in that. There's a prayer box in the library right here by the wall. So please note that. All right, Reverend Moore.
Well, we've been talking about gratitude this morning. And this is a time when you can show your gratitude by supporting the chapel with gifts of money. And of course, all the time and talent. It's already been scheduled. Like yesterday, we had a work crew here at 9 o'clock in the morning. They worked to about 11 o'clock or 12 and did some wonderful things with helping get our security system all beginning to set up. Yeah. So in that spirit of Thanksgiving, let's read our offertory affirmation. Divine love moving in and through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
The feeling of gratitude arises from our hearts this morning as we share our thoughts, our intentions, our love of life, and our joy with simply being together in a community that loves, respects, and honors everyone, always recognizing the gift of their lives to serve, to love, and to remember. So join me in saying, and so it is.
Our prayer of protection. So let's stand for that and then join hands afterwards for our peace song. So the light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
walk in gratitude.
Yeah.